In the first 8 months of the conflict, Ethiopian soldiers and their allies from Eritrea would take part in a deliberate destruction of farming equipment and food stocks, including the burning of crops, the slaughter of livestock, in addition to a systematic attempt at preventing farmers from plowing their land, forcing millions into crisis. This campaign on the capacity of ordinary Tigrayans to feed themselves was soon followed by a deliberate destruction of food aid and medical supplies.
Notably, the overall agricultural infrastructure of Tigray have been demolished and looted. Yes, you have farmlands burned, irrigation facilities significantly damaged, exporters killed and harassed, livestock and poultry slaughtered, and forcibly taken to Amhara and Eritrea, even probably to the level of breed extinction. But the most significant to me was farmers were banned not to plow their farmlands, and they were told to get peppers from Eritrea. This is the most damaging attribute that a citizen of a given country could be demanded to have provisional papers to allow them to plow their land.
To life-saving interventions, it's a world of a difference between that and a conflict situation where we struggle to get aid and assistance in because of conflict, and all sides are trying to help in a way, and we struggle just because of the conflict. It's a very big difference between that situation and a situation in which access is being actively denied to a population, where the actual cutting off of people is part of the tactics, it's part of the military strategy. This is what's so unusual about situations like we see in Ukraine, like we see in Tigray. This is not people caught up in the fog of war. It's not people just caught up in a conflict. It is people being directly targeted, directly denied, and directly used as strategic implements, as chess pieces on a horrific, murderous board that they have no right or no need to be on.
The blockade has been successful, with Tigray receiving just 6% of much-needed aid since June of 2021, while over 6.5 million people are in dire need of food assistance.
Data from our office indicates that 6.53 million people are in urgent need of food assistance.
But after 17 months of conflict and refusal by the Ethiopian government to establish a humanitarian corridor that would provide safe access to humanitarian workers to deliver aid, the Ethiopian government finally declared a humanitarian truce in a reported attempt to ensure the safe delivery of aid into Tigray. But a week into the declaration of humanitarian truce, Tigray's access to humanitarian aid has seen no improvement, with Ethiopian government officials demonstrating still attempting to use food aid as a weapon of war. Ethiopian government communications minister Legese Tulu spoke with VOA Amharic, in which he said the Ethiopian government would not allow food aid into Tigray unless Tigrayan forces withdraw from neighboring regions. This as forces from Ethiopia and Eritrea continue to occupy western Tigray.
የሚችሉበት ምንም አይነት ግራውንድ የለም ወይም ደግሞ ምንም አይነት ሁኔታ የለም። ስለዚህ እርዳታው ወደ ህብረተሰቡ እንዲደርስ ለህብረተሰቡ የሚያስቡ ከሆነ ከያዟቸው አካባቢዎች በጉልበት ከያዙት መልቀቅ ነው ያለባቸው.
But the government of Tigray says it remains committed to the humanitarian truce and hopes to see the quick delivery of much-needed aid into Tigray.
Tens of thousands of people are in the brink of starvation today. So, as long as the cessation of hostilities agreement is going to create a conducive environment for our people to have access to, unfettered access to humanitarian aid, which the international community has been in the forefront of organizing for quite some time now, and then would be more than willing to extend our support and our willingness to honor a cessation of hostility. So as long as our people's needs are going to be met, we're not going to put conditions. We'll be extending whatever amount of cooperation is required of us.
Meanwhile, the siege on Tigray, one of the longest in modern history, is causing unspeakable suffering, as millions have no access to medical care, and millions more are going without food.
A week has passed since the truce was announced, but no food has been allowed into Tigray yet. Every hour makes a difference when people are starving to death. No food has reached Tigray since mid-December, and almost no fuel has been delivered since August of last year. The siege of 6 million people in Tigray by Eritrean and Ethiopian forces for more than 500 days is one of the longest in modern history.